Okay, hey everybody, it's Dr. Natalie Horine here, hanging out with Haley over here, as you can see side by side. What am I doing? You know, you've heard these interviews before. I'm interviewing people in the health, wellness, and fitness industry, including food. That's what we're going to be talking about today, right? In the Northwest Arkansas territory, what are the options that we have as far as healthy food options? Yes, hopefully most of us know how to shop around in our local grocery stores and our big box grocery stores. But for those that it's a little more difficult, life is fast paced and life is pretty crazy right now. And what's really awesome is that Haley here is going to talk about the options that we have locally here in Northwest Arkansas and options on being able to get food in a box and then know what to do with it, how to cook it, how to prepare it in many different ways, and how to be able to cook food in your own house, even down to cutting and just being healthy and nourishing our bodies in ways that we should be nourishing our bodies, which we know it's mind, body, spirit, but part of that is what you're putting into your body. So without further ado, we have Haley here, Chef Haley, I should say, right? So can you give us a little information of how did you start? Where did you begin? Where were you at? How did you get into this? And let's just start to unravel that so that people can have an idea of who you are and then what options they have to really be able to bring healthy food options into their family.
Of course, Natalie, and thank you so much for having me on today. So really, my journey with flavor profiles kind of started, I started in the restaurant industry as my first jobs. I would work a little bit in the front of house, waiting tables, fell in love with flavor profiles in the craft beer world and did some studying in Kansas City around that. And then it led me to beer and food pairing, which ultimately led me to food. And not just any food, but food that would really provide us with healthy, good energy. And I focus mostly on anti-inflammatory foods when I'm cooking. However, we're in a day and age right now with COVID going on, so it's a whole new terrain and ballpark. But it's been very important for me to be able to connect with people so they could understand how to include more veggies into their diet or whole foods into their diet. And really my path had kind of started working tons in the food and beverage industry. And then I started to, hit my late 20 years and realized that it was time to, scale back on work. It was time to see truly the mind-body connection, focus on things like meditation and yoga and healthier eating. I was very fortunate growing up to have my mom cook a lot of different foods. So my palate was pretty expansive, but now I have these opportunities, I feel like, in our world where people are realizing the alternatives that we have for gluten and dairy and the different types of produce we can use in the really creative ways we can use the plant from the root all the way up to the actual leaf or stem. So I really try to, yeah. So I've been exploring a lot and I'm finally getting to a point where I'm really realizing what's important to me in the food world and connecting with local farmers, connecting with the community, whether it be the different restaurants right now that are kind of going through some tough times, or it be the food distributors who are refocusing their plans, or the kitchen shop that I've been partnering with for 3 years that I'll be talking about here in just a moment. But truly the community, the farmer, the whole foods, and ways to use them in ways that aren't not intimidating necessarily, but are creative. And it makes people think about vegetables in a whole new way. What's really fun is I get the most excitement out of when I have some of these cooking classes or connect with people or serve them dishes and they said, wow, I never liked beets. And oh my gosh, I love this. Tell me more. And I've had so many scenarios where someone's like, I really thought I couldn't stand this vegetable, or I couldn't even find a way to enjoy it. And that brings me a great amount of joy. So finding ways to educate people on vegetables and how to use them at home has been a passion of mine now for several years. And I just look forward to developing that further.
I love it. Like, I just tuning in because we talked, obviously we talked the other day, and I'm like, the fact that you talked about from the roots up to the stems, because we know that the more fiber, obviously, and at the same time, you're talking about anti-inflammatory. So let's start to talk about that, because so many people are eating foods that are just not good for their bodies, right? We know that, especially in the fast food industry. If it's very convenient, we get it. But how can we make it not, like you said, not intimidating in your own home to prepare food for your body, for your family's bodies that isn't going to inflame it? And maybe it will, because that's when you learn more about foods and everything. So let's rewind this. Let's talk about what you're partnering up with. So you partner up with Honeycomb Kitchen in downtown Rogers, right? So what is the partnership with Honeycomb Kitchen?
So I've been doing cooking classes for Honeycomb Kitchen Shop for now about 3 years. And now that we've come into this kind of new age and this unexpected time, well, we thought we would innovate and we would try to make sure that the cooking classes weren't just based around a skill set, but based around getting a big box of food to your family. So our project is called Unboxed Cooking Classes. It's in partnership with Honeycomb. You purchase tickets through them, but then we're also in partnership with a local food producer. So it's not a national food producer like US Foods, it's a local one called KT Produce. What they've been doing is, ever since some of the restaurants shut down, is they provide about a 20-pound box of fresh fruit, vegetables. Sometimes there's a specialty ingredient here or there. It will carry some of Ozark Natural breads, a couple local different eggs as well. So they have some different options through their fresh box. However, when we do the cooking class, what's awesome is it's a $35 value of the box, but only for 15 bucks more. If you sign up for the class, you get full instruction on how to do an entire meal for your family. And you log on to Zoom and get to engage for 2 hours with me. And I will teach you all the knife skills, all the different cooking methods that you can learn with those few vegetables quickly, and then bring them in with some other ingredients you enjoy to serve and feed your family. So it's a really cool experience because you can have your partner, roommate, your kids involved. You can all work together in your own space and be able to get lots of whole foods into your dish for the night.
That's awesome. I love that. I absolutely love that. So it's like you pick up the boxes. So for somebody who wanted to do that, how would they get involved in this?
So if you go to honeycombkitchenshop.com, under their cooking classes, you'll find the unboxed classes that we have coming up. Right now, we have one for June 16th. If you sign up and buy a ticket through them, the KT Produce box is included in the price. And the awesome thing is KT has been so incredible, and they have allowed to bring a refrigerator truck right outside of Honeycomb the day of the event. So you can swing by, grab your produce box in downtown Rogers, take it home, and you'll already have gotten the list through email that has all the recipes, all the stuff you need to set up your kitchen to cook, and all the preparation that you would need to do. So making sure you have certain vegetables washed. It gives all the instructions well ahead of time. So right when you are signed up for that, you pick up the box that day, and then you get home, get everything out, and then we all log on to Zoom. And we actually have a live Zoom setup, so you can send questions, ask questions, and follow along the whole time.
And
so
it's
it's
the same
really
day
neat.
that you pick up the box, or is that a different day?
It's the same day you pick up the box. And the great news is we will use a lot of produce in there, but you will have some leftover produce for the week. And I like to usually give some suggestions of ways to use that if people would like to know. And we kind of play around and talk about, alternative things you can do as well.
That's awesome. I love it because there's some people that are funny about leftovers, and me, I'm like, there's like no leaf or root that's going to go untouched. Like there's a place for everything. And so I love it that you talk about, you're going to figure out how to use leftovers, or you're even going to talk about how to utilize, like, let's talk about that. So give an example. So like, would broccoli be a good example? Can you use broccoli more than just the crown? And like, is there a place to utilize the stem of the broccoli?
Absolutely. My favorite recipe around broccoli stems they're pickled broccoli stems, but I like to call them broccoli blurbs because when you cut them thin, they have these unique shapes that almost look like the Nickelodeon sign. But you can, cut them about I'd say 1/4 of an inch thick. So, shave all those as small or as thin as you can. And you can do a quick pickle with those broccoli stems with just a little bit of vinegar, some spices, a touch of garlic, and a touch of water and salt. And you can do that on the stove really quick and then have them to garnish throughout the week. The other thing I like to do with them is shave it and use for broccoli slaw as well. So if you're making a coleslaw with other veggies, you can just shred up that broccoli stem. And what's funny that you bring up broccoli is I'm really excited. I grew my first broccoli in my backyard this year. So
Yay!
I'm pickling broccoli stems this weekend, and I cooked the florets last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect timing to talk about it. Isn't that awesome how that works like that?
It is awesome.
Oh, that's fun. Another one I just want to ask about, just because, and especially when my husband sees this, Dr. Lee, he will laugh because let's just say when we were back in chiropractic college in Georgia, that we ended up getting some kind of, like, we were getting fresh produce from a local farmer while we were in chiropractic college, because I mean, we were willing to spend money on ourselves for food, but maybe not for other things. But I literally, like I said, I didn't want to have any part of it to go unused. And so I didn't have any idea what to do. Like, cause it was my first time being exposed to like Swiss chard. It was my first time being exposed to all the other like dino colored, like the red chard and the orange ones and all that. And so, I mean, that was 10 years. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, that was a long time ago now. But regardless, I had no idea what to do with it, but I was just so excited to have this local, produce and everything like that but I didn't know how to cook with it. And I literally was using everything, to the point that I made a dish at some point in time, and he's like, I put the like green part of a carrot inside of, I was trying to make some kind of like goulash kind of thing. And he's like, this doesn't taste right. Like, everything else is really good, but he did not like the green part of the carrot. So can you use that?
Oh yeah. So the important thing when working with carrot greens is they will be pretty bitter. So to balance out that bitterness, what I do with them first is I actually blanch them in salted water and then wring them out real nice. And then that way, that initial bitterness will actually be stripped. And then you can put them into like a pesto or a chimichurri, or you can even really just throw them in a sauteed dish of vegetables if you mince them up. But they still will have some residual bitterness. So the key is to really make sure you balance them with either the sweet carrot root or other types of vegetables like sweet potatoes or beets, or something that will have that balance for you. Right. But when I do my carrot top pesto, if you blanch it all the carrot tops out, and then you puree it with classic pesto ingredients, and you can also instead add things like dill or parsley, or you could put a little bit of pistachio in and lemon zest, and you can really end up with this unique, vibrant, incredible dish. And Natalie, if we want to push it one more inch, if you when you peel your carrots, if you hold on to the carrot peels, you can just toss them in a touch of rice flour and slow fry them and use them as a garnish. So that way you still get that crispy, almost not that necessarily the worst thing for you to have a little garnish of a rice flour fried carrot peel, but you're using that carrot in so many ways. So if you do a dish where you roast the actual root, you fry the skin, and you make the carrot pesto, you have a next level carrot salad.
I mean, I haven't even eaten carrots in such a long time, but I'm just so happy that you talked about that, because I just still remember vividly. I was so excited, and it was so good. And then he got to that bitter carrot top, and he was just like, "Ugh, what is this?" Right? And so, I mean, that is pretty intimidating. So like, I mean, there's other people that are like, I'm sure like me, I'm a little open to retrying it again, but there'll be other people that just won't do it again because they're afraid of totally messing it up. Right?
Yeah, blanching can do so much for so many different things, especially when you're working with things like turnip greens, carrot tops. Even if the bitterness of celery bothers you a little, or the intenseness of radishes, you can throw it in a salted pot of water for just a couple of minutes, and then put it in an ice bath, and it'll be like almost a whole new experience, and it'll strip that bitterness from it.
I love it, because it's fun to utilize rutabaga and stuff like that it seems like naturally Americans don't talk about a lot. Like, Canadians seem to like rutabaga more. Like, you can make chips out of them, and we've seen them in shops and places. So, oh man, okay. So clearly I'm getting really excited about this, because I love opening up my mind to new cooking options and stuff. What are other things that you're doing? So we know we talked about the partnership with Honeycomb and what that's working, but there's other things that you're working on too. What's that?
There is another project that is underway, and we're still in the partnership phase, but we're very excited and hoping by the end of the month, me and one of my mentors, to launch essentially a version of a Blue Apron box that will be using local produce and provide a video demo. So at home, you can come by, pick up your box of everything that you need to cook a quick meal at home, and then you will be able to go home, watch the video demo, prepare it within 20 to 30 minutes for your family. So we're really trying to adapt to this time and teach people. we want to educate people so that they can take these skill sets and bring them into their future and provide really healthy, great meals for their family. I mean, what better a time than to learn that type of skill set to really sustain and bring health into your life. So through that venue too, we are hoping to get some announcements out, but please do follow me at Fractal NWA on Instagram or Facebook, or you can follow my personal page at Plant-Based Magnetism on Instagram, as well as
plant-based magnetism. I like that.
And then my partner and I will be getting the word out there and launching, and we're in partnership right now with the Fayetteville Farmers Market to do a lot of our sourcing, and we're reaching out to the other Rogers and Bentonville Farmers Market to make sure that we're supporting the entire small farm community through that project. So that will be kind of the next in the works for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. But the Unboxed classes are rocking and rolling right now, and it's such a great opportunity to bond with your family and support 3 local businesses. So remember that it's all about the community here and about getting fresh food to your guys' family, because we really want to make sure that we can all move into the future of food.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yes. So that's so exciting. So let's just rehash on this. So clearly, people can sign up at any time, even though so is it once a month that it happens? Let's talk about the frequency of this, because that's helpful for people.
Yeah, so the Unboxed classes, we actually did them twice a month for the past few months. They reopened for limited service at Honeycomb, so we're just doing one this month, and it's actually coming up on Tuesday. We will have tickets open for sale until I believe Tuesday morning. But I'd highly recommend, if you're interested, checking it out now, because my recipes for it will go out later today. And there's just 1 or 2 ingredients that you'll probably want to grab to make sure that you kind of bulk up your meal beyond just the fresh food and produce. But I am excited because we are focusing kind of on a grill out Father's Day-esque celebration. Nice. So we're kind of taking some classic dishes and pulling more vegetables into them. I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited about the Power Up potato salad. Because we're throwing all kinds of fun veggies in there, medium boiled eggs that'll kind of be fudgy in the center, and then doing a mustard kind of based German styled sauce on it. So it should be, again, these twists on some classic dishes that people enjoy, and introducing them to vegetables in a way that is approachable, delicious, and exciting.
Yes. Okay. So as we're recording, it's the 12th. Is today the 12th? Yep, today is the 12th. So people know, as we're talking about today, so it's before Father's Day. So you get the opportunity, if you're having people over, having family over, that you can have some really awesome home-cooked, prepared meals from the convenience of your own local industry, right? Bringing it in, making those meals, like you were talking about the Power Up potato salad for Father's Day and beyond. So definitely check it out. Get on honeycomb.com, obviously. I'll include links on there, and you can always forward it as well. If people want to get in contact with you, is it they can contact you through Facebook, or is Instagram best place to connect with you?
I would probably say to send me an email at my email address, which I'll make sure you get all my contact. It is fractalnwa@gmail.com. Perfect. And then if you also follow KT Produce, which is at KT_produce, and Honeycomb Kitchen Shop, both on Instagram, they are posting a lot of content about what's going on and how we're going to continue developing this into the future.
This is so exciting. This is so big for the Northwest Arkansas community, especially with everything going on, because this is such a crucial element of the basic essentials of a healthy lifestyle. What you're putting in your body, what you're doing to your body, who you're surrounding yourself with, really connecting the mind, body, and spirit, and taking care of our kingdom, our vessel, our vehicle that lets us transport all around this beautiful creation that we live on earth, right? Oh, this is so beautiful. Before we get off here and end today, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers and our listeners?
Well, I'm just going to say, during these Zoom classes, I get to look at all the little videos of you guys working in your kitchen, and I would love to see you guys there because it is such a beautiful space to be able to teach, and I'm honored to be able to educate and teach while providing for your guys' family in a simple and more approachable way. So I hope to see you there, guys.
Yes, I've got to figure out what I can do so I can join sometime too as well and be part of this. So excited. Thank you again for being here, sharing this with all of our listeners. Make sure you check it out, like she said, in the various areas on Instagram with all the different local businesses that they're partnering up with, making sure you can bring healthy foods and cooking opportunities for you and your family. Until next time, this is Dr. Natalie Horine. I'm here with Chef Haley. And you know how to reach out to her. Like she said, she would love to be able to give you some information so that way you know what to do with your bitters on the top of your carrots as well. So until next time, everybody have a great one and make sure you're working to stay healthy.
Thank you. See ya.
Awesome. So I ended the recording. That was fun, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me on and having this conversation. I think it's so important that people do hear the options out there and know that these are like lifelong skills they're building, and they're going to be able to be like, wow, these meals I thought were so hard, I learned the chef tricks.
Exactly. Like all this other stuff, this fancy stuff you're talking about, I'm like, oh, I could go on and on and on, but that's where they need to come in and consume it from you, while they're doing these Zoom calls and everything like that. But yeah, it's exactly that. And then let alone cutting options and stuff like that. I mean, I know for me, I'm more of an open person, but there's a lot of people that just aren't open, and that's why they're like, I'll just hire out for it, or I'll order out or whatever it is. So, well, I'm excited to share this. I will create like a little infographic. If you have a picture that you prefer me to use, do you like your Facebook profile picture? Because I'll just take that and add that on there. Or if there's another picture.
I have one for a couple from the past classes at Honeycomb I can send you, and then I'll go ahead and send you the KT Freshbox website and all of the info for all of us really quick by email. I'll pull my computer out and get all that over to you so you can post so that people can truly see what's happening. And then maybe I'll even send you the picture of me harvesting my broccoli.
Yes, that's awesome. It's like perfect timing. I'm all about my cruciferous vegetables. I just can't have too much because they make you gassy. But I mean, I love them because they're low. They're low on the glycemic index, and I love different ways to play with them. So the broccoli.
Do you work with kohlrabi much?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh, girl, we're gonna have to do just a little Zoom moment just between you and I, and I'll show you kohlrabi. Last night, it's basically a hybrid of a couple different vegetables, and I put it with the broccoli, and it just added the best texture and played with all the same flavor profiles. And I'm actually practicing how I want to cook the greens on it. So I'm learning a little bit about kohlrabi greens, and actually probably will be researching broccoli greens too this week. So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm excited. Cause like I said, it's pretty rooty. Like the kohlrabi would be more of it's a root, right?
So it's a root, and then you have to just take the really big outer skin, and it actually has the texture more of like a jicama or apple with this hint of broccoli flavor. So it's really good shaved raw for a slaw, but even when you saute it up, like you bite into it and it's like got this firmness, but it's not like.
Is it like a lingering kind of texture, like a jicama that it leaves on your palate?
It's got that water, it's still got that water content. So it's kind of like you bite into it and it's firm, but like it's appley almost in texture, or jicama-like in texture, and still is like hydrating in a way, even when you cook it. So we should, I've got a couple of my fridge, so I'm telling you, if you got time one night.
You could try to, tell me how to do, and it like, if it can be replicated, obviously. I'm all about it. Yeah, I want to learn how to do, I did it a while ago, making chips with rutabaga, and it was difficult because it's sensitive. It's like finding the right temperatures to bake them, to turn them into a chip, and all this other stuff. But this is fun. I would love that. Would absolutely love that. So yay. Yeah. So I feel like this is going to be a great introduction for everybody to get to know what's going on in the local area. Obviously, Leah was like ecstatic. She's like, oh my gosh, I get this like box of produce and you got to meet her. Do you want to interview? I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it. I love knowing local things in the area. I'm really excited for, and then let alone for them to know that they get worksheets ahead of time. That's really cool.
It's huge. By the way, I will tell you, it does still say it's recording on mine, so you may have to crop this video when we get done.
Oh. I will crop it. It'll be okay.
Oh, just letting you know. It doesn't matter either way.